I shall just read it. The summer evening had begun to fold the world in its mysterious embrace. Far away in the west, the sun was setting, and the last glow of all too fleeting day lingered lovingly on sea and strand, on the proud promontory of dear old Hoth, guarding as ever the waters of the bay, on the weed-grown rocks along the sandy mount shore, and last but not least, on the quiet church whence there streamed forth at times upon the stillness the voice of prayer to her who is in her pure radiance a beacon ever to the storm-tossed heart of man, Mary, star of the sea. The three girlfriends were seated on the rocks, enjoying the evening scene in the air which was fresh, but not too chilly. Many a time and oft were they wont to come here, to that favourite nook, to have a cosy chat beside the sparkling waves and discuss matters feminine. Sissy Caffrey and Eddie Boardman, with the baby in the pushchair, and Tommy and Jackie Caffrey, two little curly-headed boys dressed in sailor suits. That reminded me actually of, like different things. So when I was young, you always used to have Tulip Sunday here at the Botanical Gardens, which they still do. But Mum used to dress us up, and we always had to have white skirts and that, and the boys had to have sailor suits to go to Tulip Sunday. So,
Ray used to wear sailor suits?
Have you got a photo?
With caps to match and the name HMS Billisy printed on both. For Tommy and Jackie Caffrey, they were twins, scarce 4 years old and very noisy, and spoilt twins sometimes, but for all that darling little fellows with bright merry faces and enduring ways about them. They were dabbling in the sand with their spades and buckets, building castles as children do, or playing with their big coloured ball, happy as the day was long. And Eddie Boardman was rocking the chubby baby to and fro in the push cart, while that young gentleman fairly chuckled with delight. But he was but 11 months and 9 days old, and though still a tiny toddler, was just beginning to lisp his first babyish words. Sissy Caffrey bent over him to tease his fat little plucks and the dainty dimple on his chin. "Now, baby," Sissy Caffrey said, "say out, big, big, I want a drink of water." And baby prattled after her, "A jink, a jink, a jawbone." Sissy Caffrey cuddled the wee chap, for she was awfully fond of children, so patient with the little sufferers, and Tommy Caffrey could never be got to take his castor oil, unless it was Sissy Caffrey that held his nose and promised him the scatty heel of the loaf of brown bread with golden syrup on. What a persuasive power that girl had. But to be sure, baby was as good as gold, a perfect little dote in his new fancy bib. None of your spoilt beauties, Florima Flimsy sort, was Sissy Caffrey. A true-hearted lass never drew the breath of life, always with a laugh in her gypsy-like eyes and a frolicsome word on her cherry-ripe red lips. A girl lovable in the extreme. And Eddie Boardman laughed too at the quaint language of little brother. But just then there was a slight altercation between Master Tommy and Master Jackie. Boys will be boys, and our two twins were no exception to this golden rule. The apple of discord was a certain castle of sand which Master Jackie had built, and Master Tommy would have it right to go wrong that it was to be architecturally improved by a front door, like the Martello Tower had. But if Master Tommy was headstrong, Master Jackie was self-willed too, and true to the maxim that every little Irishman's house is his castle, he fell upon his hated rival, and to such purpose that the would-be assailant came to grief, and alas, to relate. The coveted castle too. Needless to say, the cries of discomfort of Master Tommy drew the attention of the girlfriends. "Come here, Tommy," his sister called him perversely at once. "And you, Jackie, for shame to throw poor Tommy in the dirt, saying, 'Wait till I catch you for that.'" His misty eyes were unshed tears. Master Tommy came at her call, for their big sister's word was law with the twins, and in a sad plight, he was after his misadventure. His little man-of-war top and the unmentionables were full of sand, but Sissy was a past mistress in the art of smoothing over life's tiny troubles, and very quickly not one speck of sand was to be seen on a smart suit. Still the blue eyes were glistening with hot tears that would well up, so she kissed away the hurtness and shook her head at Master Jackie, the culprit, and said if she was near him, she wouldn't be far from him, her eyes dancing in admiration. "Nasty, bold Jackie," she cried, and I'm sure many of you would have heard, you bold child, you bold boy. She put an arm round the little mariner and coaxed winningly, "What's your name, butter and cream? Tell us who your sweetheart," spoke Eddie Boardman. "Is Sissy your sweetheart?" "No, tearful Tommy said. "Is Eddie Boardman your sweetheart?" Sissy queried. "No," Tommy said. "I know Eddie Boardman," said none too amicably. With an arch glance from her short-sighted eyes, "I know who's Tommy's sweetheart. Gertie is Tommy's sweetheart." "No," Tommy said on the verge of tears. Sissy's quick mother wit guessed what was amiss, and she whispered to Eddie Boardman to take him there behind the push car where the gentleman couldn't see, and to mind he didn't wet his new tan shoes.